Hello and welcome back to the Michigan Conservative Roundtable. I'm Mac, Kim, TJ. Today's topic is, it's a question, and we're going to throw it out to you, the viewers, and see what you might have to say about it. So please comment, like, share, and subscribe as always. I'm on Facebook, and I see a person on a conservative-leaning page, and they say something to the effect of, hey everybody, we need to wake up and get our act together and so on and so forth before the election. And one of the comments on that, one of the posts on that post was a gentleman whose name I won't mention. The United States has already fallen. That's the open secret that no one wants to admit. This country has already been overthrown and is now in the process of rebooting as a communist nation. The only thing standing in their way is Donald Trump, but the communists are patient. They'll patiently wait him out, then pounce the moment he leaves office and finish us off once and for all. Trump is not the savior. He's just a speed bump that is slowing them down a bit. Any thoughts on those comments?
Well,
on that comment?
I think he's partially accurate. I don't believe we're rebooting in the present tense, we'll say, but I do believe if whoever follows President Trump, that's going to go to exactly what he's saying there.
Well, that goes to he's going to be a tough act to follow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
While we were talking here before we started the show, we were thinking who might be the person. Of course, Ted Cruz comes to mind, and I think you'll have others like Jim Jordan and Tom Cotton. Maybe Lindsey Graham will want to get in there.
I'm not a fan of Lindsey Graham.
I don't trust Lindsey Graham.
I go back and forth on Lindsey.
I applaud him at times, like during the Kavanaugh hearings, but he says a lot of things that I think he hopes people forget. Like he's going to get to the bottom of the investigating the investigators. Well, we keep hearing how that's going to happen and how Barr is going to be arresting anybody very soon, and all we see is let them off, let them off, let them off, let them off. Seems to be two sets of standards in this country, one for the Democrats and one for the conservatives. And
at the risk of appearing like a monarchy, I do have to wonder if there might not be something to Trump Jr.
Yeah.
He went on The View and took it to them ladies, okay? And you know what? We kind of like it when someone, and it doesn't even have to be a Trump person, we just like for someone to go on The View and give it back to that crew,
I watch The View and I can't stomach it, but if I'm trapped somewhere like a doctor's office and they're playing it, I think that if the Nazis had had a show during the war, that's what it would have been. They would have had three Nazis and they would be talking about the Jews all day long.
Hey, I'm a woman and I can't stomach it, okay?
Yeah, well,
I can't watch it.
You're a woman with a brain.
But the thing is going back to the thing, I think we're on the verge, because if we lose this next election, we're looking at Bernie, possibly. He's winning by quite a bit, unless they go to the convention and do the superdelegate thing and pick who they want again.
Well, that really speaks, I'm glad you brought that up, because that really speaks a lot to how they think. They have a group of people who are going to decide everything. To hell with all the primaries, to hell with the caucuses. We know what the people said, but we know better, and we're going to pick blank to fill in the spot.
Well, that's why they call them elitist insiders.
Yeah. It's an unfair setup. They're going to screw him again. He's going to make it a little harder for them to screw him this time. But if they do it, and this will tell you how aggressive they really want to be. If they do it to him again, of course the Bernie Bros are going to burn down all the cities, so that won't be a problem.
Yeah, I was thinking that the communists can exhibit patience like I could only hope to. But the Bernie Bros,
they won't have patience.
They might be out of patience. And you know what? At the risk of being a pragmatist, that could work to our advantage.
It could.
You know?
You're absolutely right.
But the thing is what worries me is the way our millennials are flooding to Bernie and flooding to communism, and that goes back to our schools. What are we teaching in our schools that are making these kids think socialism, borderline communism is okay?
Well, everybody likes fairness. And on paper, socialism sounds fair. But once you've lived, you find out pretty quick it's not fair. And when, in fact, these same college students, these same millennials are posed with the question of everybody gets a C no matter how hard you didn't work, they don't like it. When socialism is explained to them for what it is, they tend to not like it. So that's going to be the job the rather lame Republican Party has got to do. And we're going to do what we can on this show, although I don't think we get many millennial watchers, but we'll give it a shot. And we will point out those differences, and we will let you know what socialism really is all about. And that once in, what was it you said, Kim? You can vote your way in, but you'll have to shoot your way out?
Right.
Well, you'll be tough shooting with no gun.
Yeah, big time.
I'm afraid the guy could be right.
Well, he's more right than he is wrong. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm concerned that we've waited too long to fight back. For too long, many went along with those on the high road. And
yeah, we've talked about the high. You know what? The high road leads to this. That's
yeah,
for sure.
exactly. This is what it invites.
Well, this next election is going to be the teller for sure.
I've heard, but here's the thing: haven't we heard that the last 3 or 4 elections?
Yeah, but
and it's been true each time.
Yeah.
And we're taking a licking given the midterm elections. The midterm elections could go to his point, really, when you think about it.
Well, and you've mentioned it before. All of those House members, what was it, 42?
45, I think.
45,
something.
all retired at one time.
And some, well, I say some, yeah, I do believe most were in protest to the horrible President Trump. I mean, I'm going to get out on principle. It just gag me.
Here's what I'd like any of them to tell me. What is their principle? I mean,
what's so horrible that he's doing? He's
that's
up
what
our economy.
That's what I want. Oh, he's rude and he's
more
frightful
jobs for blacks than ever.
Yeah.
We're seeing all this positive stuff, but I mean, they're saying all these horrible things.
But he's such a bully. I mean, I'll be devil's advocate. He's such a bully. Can't he do it more nicely? That's really what they're saying.
Yeah, but you know what I think is? Part of his personality. He diverts with his bulliness. Mm-hmm. He'll get something going over here that everybody's talking about while he's doing something over here.
That's true.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
He was a great surprise to me. I did not vote for him in the Michigan primary. I, like my colleague, voted for Ted Cruz. You were in Texas, Kim, so you didn't vote in the Michigan primary.
No, but I voted for... Actually, I voted for Ben Carson in the primary.
Which I like. Ben Carson's the guy you want in your corner.
Because he's a good guy, had good basic religious stances.
Going to the topic here, my concern with Ben Carson was, did he have the belly for the fight?
I don't think he did when I look back at it.
And I've always said, I don't think you've heard me say this before, but I know Mac has, in the primary, as I'm voting for Ted Cruz, I knew it had to be Donald Trump, because I knew Donald Trump. I just felt Donald Trump had the belly for the fight, but for some reason or other, I felt at the time Ted Cruz was the adult decision.
Well, you were ahead of me on that curve. I didn't trust Donald Trump. I was too worried, looking at his past, that he was going to be a Trojan horse for the left.
Right.
And I was worried about that too. And boy,
but I knew Hillary Clinton could not make Supreme Court choices.
Oh my goodness, Hillary would have been a disaster.
Yes.
I mean, when she can get on national news and talk about aborting babies up to term.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Well, people have to realize that the next step behind that is the other end of the scale of life. You're only got 6 months to live, and if we let you live those 6 months, it's going to cost $1 million, and it could, $1 million in hospital bills that all the rest of us have to pay. Maybe you ought to go now.
Well, in various states, they're trying to take that away from families, because they're trying to make doctors and hospitals be able to make those decisions.
Yeah.
And that's wrong. Families need to make the decisions.
I don't want any doctor, especially one that I probably don't know, who may not even be an American, who does not have my worldview in any way, decide that my life isn't worth living. Because he might decide, if he is a Hindu, for instance, that I'm going to be reincarnated, so what's the big deal?
A little off topic. Given the great Obamacare, I've begun the transition into the VA system, because the VA can't be any worse than what I got going for me with Obama.
Another thing that
Actually,
Donald
Trump
Trump
has
fixed.
done a lot
Yeah.
of stuff for the VA system recently. I've worked with the VA
Oh, that's
system.
good news for me.
Yeah, they've done a lot. You know, the thing is when Obamacare came in, I lost my insurance as a nurse. I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford over $1,000 a month for me and my children.
Well, that was an example of how socialism works. You have to pay for it, you don't get it. Another person who pays nothing for it ends up with, well, I'm not going to say Cadillac insurance, but a hell of a lot better than they had.
What you mentioned touches on a really sore spot of mine. Too bad you didn't say this sooner. But, they took your money and gave it to someone else is what happened.
Right.
And that just, you talk about a bitter pill being made to swallow.
Well, to make it relatable to people, I always say, imagine going through the grocery store and you fill up your cart with all this, that, and the other thing you want or need, and you get to the checkout, you pay for it, and then you walk out the front door, and somebody else carries your groceries away.
Yeah.
No one would do that. If people had to do that once or twice in their life, they might get an idea that this isn't going to work so well.
And we're seeing that. I mean, in the healthcare profession right now, we've got people who, your doctor orders you a medicine, the insurance company denies it, and they have to go with something that might work as good. The thing is on their ivory towers, how can they decide what a patient needs when they haven't even seen the patient?
Okay. Well,
And that's what's happening, and that's what happens under the Medicare system.
Right.
So when they talk about Medicare for all,
Yeah.
socialized medicine,
yeah. Well, once it fails, it'll become single payer, which was always the plan under Obamacare.
oh, it's always been government. They want government.
They want government control, because if you can say who lives and who dies, well, you're almost a god then. So, I don't see the country lasting 2 years in socialism before we have serious social problems that will
I think
end
we'll see the Civil War.
very, very bad.
Civil unrest.
Civil unrest, yeah.
We'll see another Civil War, is what I call it.
If it doesn't happen after the election, which
Yes.
is my prediction. So, if you guys don't have anything else, I'll wrap up. No? Good. So as we like to say on the Michigan Conservative Roundtable, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.
You know,